What we do in life echoes in eternity. Are you not entertained? I'm John Renton with the retro review of Gladiator from 2000. One of Ridley Scott's best movies, one of the best Gladiator movies of all time, even if it's basically just a rendition of Spartacus, Ridley Scott's Spartacus, and other classic Gladiator movies, Roman Coliseum movies, whatever your flavor. Yeah, in preparation for Gladiator 2, a film that I never thought would actually be made, and I didn't know if it really needed to be made, but boy, that trailer certainly has me sold. I decided to revisit this, and this even has a director's cut, or an extended cut. It's almost 3 hours, instead of 2 hours and 35 minutes. Let me tell you, as much as I love this movie, and I'm just going to hold this up because I just honestly, this is one of my favorite movies in my Blu-ray collection, Blu-ray DVD collection. I just love the fact that from beginning to end, the movie just basically moves at a pretty brisk pace. That being said, upon rewatching it, though, there are issues with it. As classic as it is one of my favorite movies of the last 25 or so years, they could have cut the slow-mo down. They could have cut a few scenes out. I think it got a little self-serving at some points, but this basically launched Russell Crowe's, U.S. A-list career, or at least bolstered it. Because then he would be in A Beautiful Mind, he would be in other stuff, then he would have his own personal issues, a lot of which were his fault, if we're being honest, but I still love Russell Crowe in a lot of movies. And this, I would argue, is one of his best roles. So, nevertheless, Ridley Scott, he's done a lot of movies. I mean, he did fucking Alien. He did Alien, he didn't do fucking Alien. No one is fucking a xenomorph. Not on my watch. And this was written by 3 people. I don't know if 3 people necessarily needed to write this, but David Franzoni, who did Amistad, that's something I want to retro review, but Jesus Christ, I don't know if I can. And Jumping Jack Flash, Take It in the Ass, I don't think that's how the song goes. John Logan, who did Skyfall, The Aviator, The Way of the Future, The Way of the Future. Bats, remember Bats? I wish I didn't. Any Given Sunday, Red, Rango, Alien, Mike Covenant, as well as They/Them. Yeah. And it was also written by William Nicholson, who did Shadowlands, First Night, which is a movie I really forgot about and probably need to revisit when I get into more of a medieval, mood. And Les Miserables. I know it's Les Miserables, just work with me here. That's the 2012 edition. This stars Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, pretty much as he was rising up, and features Connie Nielsen, who doesn't look any different in the sequel, and that's kind of just scary, because this was in 2000, and everybody ages, don't get me wrong, but she looks fucking incredible. And Oliver Reed, co-starring Oliver Reed's liver, which was just about to give out right here, a fantastic actor that had his own issues, died actually a bit before principal photography ended, and they had to kind of use CGI and body doubles, and you can tell, even though this had a lot of money behind it, you can tell when they had to do CGI, but they did as good as they could. Richard Harris, who apparently took a liking to Russell Crowe, but Oliver Reed didn't. Oliver Reed even at one point wanted to fight him. I don't know why he would want to fight Russell Crowe. I mean, then again, Oliver Reed was basically fighting Jauntus and whatever else he had. Richard Harris, though, yes, Dumbledore in the first 2 Harry Potter movies, and in other stuff, don't get me wrong, but a lot of actors from this died. Derek Jacobi, he's pretty good as Gracchus. Spencer Treat Clark, I forgot, was in this. He was also in the most recent Salem's Lot. So at least he started good here as a kid. Djimon Hounsou, though, why has this man not been in more A-list roles? He's fan-fucking-tastic. He was great in Amistad. Weird I went from that to Deep Rising within a year. He was in A Quiet Place Part 2, in A Quiet Place Day 1. He's really good. Why has he not been featured in more meaty roles? Music by Hans Zimmer, fantastic fucking soundtrack. And the budget for this was $103 million, which in today's money would be $188.5 million. The opening was $34.8 million, $63.8 million in today's money. U.S. gross was $187.7, so it did well. And that was $343.6 million in today's money. And worldwide gross, $465.5 million, $852.3 million in today's money. If you have not seen Gladiator, then what the fuck do you expect me to do except just recount some of my favorite scenes? The basis of the story is Maximus Decimus Meridius, Russell Crowe, is a general of Rome, the best general, and he basically just wants to go home to his wife. You have Marcus Aurelius, played by Richard Harris, that after, hey, German boy, go back to Germania, they kill some barbarians in a fantastic opening. He just wants to go home. Commodus is, or Commodus, I'm just going to say Joaquin. But Mr. Phoenix basically is the son of Marcus Aurelius, but he is not fit to lead. He's just a cowardly leader that wants to rule through fear, despite his incapabilities of running any kind of empire. Gee, I wonder if we ever had anybody like that in charge of this fucking country. But nevertheless, Joaquin Phoenix does play his role well here. Don't misunderstand me. Connie Nielsen obviously has affection for Maximus, and he's a better man than me. Because it would be hard to resist Connie Nielsen. Yes, maybe I will profess my love for Connie Nielsen one day. Shut up. But we're in 180 AD, so Zoe Stark was able to, basically talk to them about, various things since she was there. That is a deep cut for wrestling fans. And what's great about this is they just set it all up. They set up the battle and all this, the mud, the blood, the muck, and the beer. And Crowe did cite this as his favorite U.S. role. People should know when they're conquered. Would you, Quintus? Would I? And strength and honor. That's a line and a theme that carries through this movie. At my signal, unleash hell. And they just take down the barbarians after talking about Elysium. If you have reached Elysium and you are already dead, what we do in life echoes through eternity. The barbarians are barrage. They do manage to kill some. The splashes of violence, slashing, and just the slow-mo. It wasn't as egregious as Zack Snyder would end up using. I forgot how much slow-mo was in this movie. So, I kept noting throughout this, because it's one thing that always bothered me about the movie, and I'm not saying, by the way, that it wasn't accurate for the time. That's your sister, Commodus, because Lucilla is played by Connie Nielsen. Again, the incredibly gorgeous Connie Nielsen. That's his sister. Gross. Oliver Reed's liver was just struggling to act its ass off here. A little bit later on. And then we have Richard Harris. Richard Harris doesn't make it very long. True to life. That was mean, but it also wasn't wrong. And Marcus honors... basically, Marcus Aurelius honors Maximus, but not Commodus. It's not that he hates his son. He just knows his son can't lead because his son's a little bitch. Maximus, you need to leave Rome. Can I just go home is what he's thinking. This whole idea is just him wanting to go home to his wife and child. And he can't get there until they're dead. And anyone's going to the afterlife. And people keep calling him on him and basically bringing him back to fucking do it. Not resurrecting him, but just, I'm ready to go. Fuck, I have to do more. That's just the theme of this movie. And I did like how, he was talking about Maximus the farmer. Quintus said that blood or dirt washes off a lot easier than blood, Quintus. Blood Quintus just sounds like a terrific European metal name, by the way. And basically, Marcus says that Lucilla would have been a perfect ruler if she had been born a boy. She could lead me. I'm done professing my love for Connie Nielsen. But, basically, hey, protect Rome. Well, okay, call upon me, but I want to go home. Maximus, you are the son I should have had. And then Commodus kills his father by smothering him, basically. To be fair, Richard Harris looked like he was about to croak at this point. Anyway, I'm done knocking the elderly. But then, Lucilla knows what Commodus did and slaps him because she slapped me like that. Okay, I said I was done, I'm done. Commodus basically has Maximus arrested. Maximus then kills some soldiers. Goes home, but he's wounded. His shoulder gets wounded. He tries to go home, but some soldiers get to his place first and hang his son, nail him to a cross. They brutally torture him. They apparently brutalize the wife. I don't remember the actress's name, but I would run home to her. I don't blame him one bit. And then he is found and sold into slavery. Because he gets home and he's basically all fucked. But then Jaimin Hanzu's Juba basically says, like, don't die. They'll feed you to the lions. They're worth more than we are. And he's got maggots in his wound. Don't touch it. They will clean it. And he even puts like a bread, like the grain thing in him. I don't know what the fuck it is there. Is that better? All clean. But Jaimin Hanzu's fantastic in this. Proximo, a.k.a. Oliver Reed's remaining liver capacity, is basically talking about, you need to do this. It's like, Maximus, you need to win the crowd and you'll win your freedom. And just all these great moments just of like these setups and these set pieces. You can tell that Ridley Scott probably had a blast doing this. Apparently it was a long, arduous shoot. And Oliver Reed actually could have been replaced and they could have done something where they had another actor. But because of a clause in his contract or something with his estate, it would have cost him $25 extra million. They're like, we've done a lot of shit. Can we just do something? Hence the CGI and the body doubles. Plus, I mean, you can't replace Oliver Reed's liver. Maybe they could have and he still would be alive. Enough about Oliver Reed's liver. So, Proximo basically is living in this village, has his own gladiator battles and this kind of stuff. And the build to the Colosseum fight, their own Colosseum. Maximus and Juba team up. And the people of Rome, meanwhile, the people of Rome are basically saying, fuck you, Commodus, we don't want you ruling us. He's selling off the grain reserves. He's doing anything he can to fund the Roman games and basically build himself up as this. But soon the people of Rome will starve because he wants to dissolve the Senate. And he wants to basically rule as a tyrant. Again, good thing we don't have anybody trying to do that now. But nevertheless, let's just run with good people running the country instead. So nevertheless, Connie just, again, fantastic as Lucilla. Has a star quality about her, but also just this quiet reservation where she just is fucking pissed and just, she wants to kill her brother, basically. And Lucius, Spencer Tree Clark in this, and Paul Mescal in the upcoming sequel, he grows fond of Maximus, says, I like you, Spaniard, and I shall cheer for you. This is after a few other battles. There's some good stuff here. I mean, there's really, really good stuff. And new Colosseum, it will be built with blackjack and hookers, an updated Colosseum. Oliver Reed did good here, despite the fact his liver was giving out and all that. So, win the crowd, you'll win your freedom. There's this Battle of Carthage, I think is what it is. I wrote down so fast because there was so much stuff happening at some points that basically they win that, and, they were supposed to lose that, but he turns his back to the Emperor, which you're not supposed to do. Great fight scene, by the way, in this Colosseum where chariots and all this stuff, nobody died like in Ben-Hur. People are getting heads cut off. People are getting slashed. Some of Maximus's group dies, but he is able to lead them to victory. And then basically says, my name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, the leader of these legions, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. Forgive me for not knowing every word, as much as I love this movie. And Commodus basically could kill him, but the crowd's saying, live, live, live. Apparently they're Liv Morgan fans, despite Liv Morgan having not been born at any point yet. It has a deep cut for any particular person that happens to be watching this. So, Commodus is a complete coward, tries to rule through fear. It doesn't work because you can tell there's unraveling. Lucilla pleads with Maximus, who calls out on the bullshit, like, oh, you say that you wept for this. But she did. I mean, you could tell that she was very forthcoming. Never mind. Today I saw a slave become more powerful than the Emperor of Rome. Again, Connie was fantastic in this, and I wish they had featured Jaimin Hanzu a little bit more, but when he got a chance, he was able to shine. And then they brought back basically a guy 5 years in retirement, Tigris of Gaul. There were some extended scenes, by the way, that I forgot about, because I have seen the extended cut since, and you can check that stuff out. I can't go into too many spoilers about it. There are some tigers that get killed, well, one in particular, and he was going to kill this tigress guy, this retired gladiator that's still a beefy guy. Gets him in the foot and could kill him, but then he shows mercy. Maximus the Merciful. First they cheer the killing, now they cheer the mercy. And I just liked how obviously everybody is playing Commodus because everybody knows he's not fit to fucking lead. He's a fucking idiot, basically, buying into all this stuff. Cicero is an old friend. Maximus gets something, to Lucilla, who will have her basically meet, or who will have Maximus meet, basically, a senator that wants to try to uproot Commodus and actually give Rome back to the people. And it's Gracchus. A terrific performance here, by the way. He will buy Maximus' freedom. Let's just say that goes tits up. Oliver Reed ends up getting killed. Kind of hilariously. Talks about shadows and dust. Maximus, shadows and dust. He becomes shadows and dust. And also lots of stab wounds. Lucilla, just before this, does end up offering a kiss to Maximus. How could you resist? From either, honestly, at this point. Even Russell Crowe at this point. And Lucius wants to be like Maximus. Commodus gets more scared. He basically takes hold of Lucius, basically to stop this, basically stop his sister from uprooting. Again, that's your sister, you freak. So, the part where he yelled, "Am I not merciful?" He wasn't. He ad-libbed that. Apparently scared Connie Nielsen. Probably caused her ears to ring a little bit. This is all set up where Cicero ends up getting killed. All this stuff is going on. Gracchus is put into jail. And now it's finally the showdown where Commodus is like, fine, I'll do it myself. But he can't do it fairly. He stabs Maximus, has him cover the wound. Soldiers are surrounding, and he is going to kill Maximus, who basically is dying at this point, but has just enough motivation, despite the fact he just wants to go home to his family, kills Joaquin Phoenix, which should happen for Joker, fully due, to be fair. But then, he does that. He kills Commodus. That's it. And then he basically says, Quintus, free my men, reinstate Gracchus. There was a dream that was Rome. It shall be realized. These are the last wishes of Marcus Aurelius. And then he, collapses. And then Connie Nielsen is over him, and everything, and sees, and she's go to them. Yes, he just wanted to go home to his family. It's a good ending. It's a really good ending. Hans Zimmer score underscores, ironically, all this stuff here. You're home, and then he was a soldier of Rome. Honor him. Who will help me carry him? And a bunch of his men decide to help him. And then, now we are free. Juba says, I will see you again, but not yet. Not yet. And thus ends Gladiator. That is the end of Gladiator. Honestly, a fan-fucking-tastic movie. Yeah, it has its issues, but it's still fan-fucking-tastic and one of my favorite movies. Because no movie is absolutely perfect. Everything you can pick apart at some point, but it's just really fucking good with epic battles, great pieces of dialogue, and a lot of great performances. So, that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description, and letterbox handle in the description. I'm John Rentlin. I'll see you soon.